鼓動に祈りを捧げ月夜に満ちてゆく星の子愛の幕を切れ
It's September, meaning the holiday season has begun. In terms of what comes to the Vita, one of the first games in the chopping block is the game known as MeiQ Labyrinth of Death. This game is the second game produced in the Maki Ichiban-kan series, with the first being Trillion, God of Destruction, which came out earlier this year. These games share nothing in common outside of a few key members of the development team. Unlike Trillion, which was a mix between life simulator and roguelike, MeiQ is a dungeon role-playing game through and through. MeiQ's story is pretty simple. The planet's rotation has stopped, and so the world is now in perpetual darkness. Mages from all over the world pilgrim to Machina City, specifically its southern cross-section, as it's said that a powerful mage there made the world turn again. You play as Estra, a relaxed mage that lived in a village only to just make it here. Sadly, outside of that and her seemingly not knowing much about technology, that's all we really know about her. This pretty much applies to the entire cast as well. There's Flair, the hot-headed one who's always ready to fight, Connie's a happy-go-lucky little girl, Maki's the brains, and Satya the shy one. These girls travel through the towers in town to bathe in their holy waters in order to receive blessings. Receiving said blessings would allow them to gain the power to turn the planet's key, allowing the world to go back to normal. As far as plot goes, that's about it. Of course, there will be villains getting in your way, but that's that. The game is pretty light in terms of lore and story otherwise, which is fine in retrospect of what the game is about, but with how the game is padded, it just comes off as super bare bones. The game's dungeons take place in said towers, and with the name like Labyrinth of Death, dungeon floors are indeed huge, with most directions leading to nowhere. However, unlike its name, you won't be dying in this game much if you pick the normal difficulty. For some reason, the game gives you some ridiculously strong items in the beginning of the game, which causes some weird balancing issue in the beginning, which sort of irons its way out near the end. But even then, if you manage yourself properly, even the most impossible battles are winnable. The battle system is super slow. You can speed them up by holding down the X button, but in the end, I almost wish I had the option to turn off animations entirely. Eventually, I ended up doing the same moves over and over again, making the battles pretty boring to look at, and I just wanted them to be done with. Considering there are only a few dungeons in the game, you'll be going through some of them multiple times, because for some reason there would be an item in the previous dungeon I completed that I would have to go get to help you out in the new dungeon. It's not a pain to do it per se, but the game just becomes super repetitive in its story structure because of it. To backtrack a bit, even though battles are terrible, min-maxing your stats are actually pretty fun. You see, these girls aren't fighting on their own. They're helped by giant robots called Guardians. While Guardians have a fixed defense element to them, you can change their body and both of their arms to suit your needs. Note that when you change their parts, you greatly change your stats and how attacks are gotten as well. You can buy some parts in shops, but the real deal is having recipes to craft the really good parts, along with actually evolving your Guardian's body. Guardians are generally on the front lines of battle, while the girls don't do anything on their own unless you have them do so. While having them do an action would place them in the front lines, they generally aren't attacked unless you have them attack or defend on their own. Doing anything else will just have the Guardian attack instead, unless the enemy can bypass this with one of their own attacks, which is pretty rare. If a girl goes down, the Guardian also goes down. But in the opposite situation, the girl is still active and can fight. Unfortunately, the game circumvents any form of difficulty by giving some characters the ability to use an escape spell at the end of battle, while every floor in the dungeon having a warp. Meaning, if one of them is still active or you have an escape item, you can escape, go to the city, rest in the inn, for free I might add, and just continue back on that floor in no time at all. Not to mention that nothing happens if you lose either, as you're just sent right back to the inn. The way the game is designed just gives the game no sense of urgency whatsoever. In conclusion, what started off as a good and entertaining time just became a race to finish the game as quickly as possible to get away from it. As stated before, the labyrinths are certainly huge, but the game does absolutely nothing with them. Customizing your robot is great, and yet the battles aren't fun. This game certainly does have some cool ideas, but there are way more negatives than positives. With this being a Vita title, a system drowning in DRPGs, and some being the best made in a long time, just to see a game that's flat out this bad to come out is just very disappointing. And that does it for our review of MeiQ Labyrinth of Death. To see a more detailed and fully written review, be sure to check out our website, gaminggamma.com. A link will be provided down in the description bar below, and be sure to leave a comment down in the comment section below letting us know what you guys thought of the review, and be sure to subscribe for future Let's Plays and reviews on this channel. And as always everyone, this is GammaLad signing off.